Yeah, that,
All right. Oh. I think it's fine.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
All right, please be seated. If you're here this morning, you're in the right place at the right time, right now. And if you're watching us out there in video land, just know that even if you're not here present, we still know you're in the right place at the right time right now and joining us for our service. So we just appreciate all of those that do watch us and click on to our YouTube network and take a look at what we talk about here. But listen, if you're ever in the Williamsburg area, you need to come here and visit us. We'd love to have you. So we take time this morning. I got a couple of things going on this month. Today, of course, is Father's Day. So we want to just honor our fathers. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but we've all had a father. Whether we have one in our lives or not, whether they were wonderful or not, whatever, we have some connection with a father figure in our lives. And we want to bless them for allowing you to be here, right? Yeah, for letting you be here, being in the creative process of you being here. And then also, this is Pride Month. And of course, that's the month where we do honor and just recognize all of those that have other paths of being on this planet. And we bless them too. So it's interesting. I was out at Unity Village last week, and they were having a LGBTQ retreat out there. And I was able to sit in on a couple of the sessions. And do you know what it all boils down to? Anybody? What does it boil down to? What? Acceptance, right. And guess what? We are all the same. You know, really, when you think about it, aren't we? We're all traveling this road of life together. And we've got more similarities than we have dissimilarities. And like you said, acceptance of all, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, sending our love. So we do that for of course, everybody all around the world. As we turn within for a few moments and take a breath and kind of get settled in your seat and allow yourself to feel that power and presence of life moving through you. Feel it in your feet. Feel it in your hands. Feel it in your heart. The life force that we call God, the life force that lives and moves and has its being in each and every living thing on this planet. We are blessed to be here in Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center to share our journey together, to encourage one another, to be here next to one another when things in our lives, we need that support. We are so blessed here at our spiritual center. And it's in that consciousness of blessing and love and allowing that to move out into this world and into every corner of the universes. We are grateful. We're grateful. For just a moment, think of something that you're grateful for in this moment, for you. What are you grateful for within yourself? And allow yourself to feel what that feels like. How does it make you feel? Does it make you want to smile? Does it make you want to laugh? We send that gratitude and that feeling out around the world and the universes, and so it is. Amen. All right, so now we have an opportunity to greet the Christ in me, greeting the Christ in you, and then after that we will do a song. So if you'd like to rise, if you're able to. The idea of this salute to one another or acknowledgement of one another is Unity teaches that we are the expression of the infinite God, whatever you want to call it, spirit in the world. We are it, okay? And so we allow ourselves to look at one another in the eye and go, the Christ in me greets the Christ in you. So let's say that now. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. Christ in me greets the Christ in me. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. All right. Now, the whole rest of the week, every single solitary person you meet, you're going to say in your mind, the Christ in me greets the Christ in you, no matter how they might be irritating you. Okay? Okay, let's go up to a higher place.
Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined for greatness. My soul has entered the goal. Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place.
All right, please be seated. So now we get to say our Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center affirmation. And when we affirm this, we're saying this is who we are. When you walk in our doors, you're going to realize and feel what this is all about as we affirm this together. Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center is a radiant center of divine life, light, and love. We are a thriving, prosperous spiritual community that honors the divine presence in all and celebrates our oneness through loving service in our community. Is that right? Is that who we are? Okay. All right. And now we get to say the beautiful words that have been said for millennium of time. These beautiful words called the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And now we get to sing another one of Daniel's songs, since we love Daniel Nahmod so much, and it's called Love Is My Decision. So if you would like to stand and we'll sing our song together, that would be wonderful.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance in the road. Love is my decision. It's up to me to lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now.
All right, please be seated. So that's the next thing you can do this week. We already got the one command to see everybody as the Christ in me greets the Christ in you. The other one is to just love everybody. Love everybody, yeah. Okay, so this is our time to welcome new people. As I look around the sanctuary, I don't see any new people unless you're here invisibly, and that way you would be tricking me because I wouldn't be able to tell. But I think Reverend Jan might be here. Yeah. We had a really beautiful ceremony, celebration of life, for Reverend Jan yesterday, and this place was filled with people and just everybody just talking about Jan and all that she meant to them and their lives, and we did have quite the little celebration. So if you missed it, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and you can check it out. And now is the time that we really think about things that are on our heart to pray about. What would you like to unfold in prayer today? Is it a person? Is it an event? Is it a concern that you have? Concern about you or someone else? What is it that you would like us as a group to hold prayer around? And just think on that And it could even be a celebration of some sort, like you're celebrating an anniversary or you're going on a vacation or, something, anything that you would like us to hold in prayer. Hold that in your mind right now. And if you want, you can hold it in your hand and put it up to your heart. And we as the spiritual center here, we will hold those intentions all this week. And the beauty part is we don't even know what it has to be for each other because we're all one in consciousness. So let us say our prayer together as we center ourselves in the one presence and one power. We realize that our thoughts have the power to heal and bless. We send them out now, carrying love, peace, joy, and life to situations and celebrations that we hold in our hearts. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, we transform the world. Amen. And that is a truth that will set us free. And Bob Osmond's got affirmations and the daily word and all those kinds of things. Thank you, Bob.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is the day the Lord hath made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. We may be small this morning, but we're mighty. So just keep that in mind all day. I'm going to tell you a quick story. About 65 years ago, so that's a long time, I played in a championship football game against a team called Barrington, which I'd like to point out my team won. And I played against a fellow that I didn't know, but turned out to be good friends with some of my friends. And through a series of coincidences, he found out about a book I had written about our championship football team, read the book, contacted some people because he wanted to meet me. And for about 2 years, we've been corresponding back and forth on emails. And he played in a tournament down in not St. Petersburg, the other place. Anyhow, out in Florida, in a pickleball tournament, which he actually turned out to be the national champion, believe it or not. And he came up here and spent about a week with me. Well, considering I'd never met him before, and that we got along just famously. And I found out through a lot of things that he graduated from Iowa State University and went to Quantico Marine Corps School with a lot of my classmates. So, there was just all kinds of connections, which is kind of amazing. Well, what I'm leading up to is I also found out that he has a unity mind. Now, he's not unity. He actually, if I remember correctly, I think he's a Presbyterian. But his thought process was exactly like what we have been learning here for years in the Unity Church. And we had a lot of really wonderful discussions during the week that he was here, and I think he's watching today. So he wrote a poem, which I think is wonderful, and I'm going to read it to you just in his honor, because I just think, I told him that he ought to become a Unity minister, but he kind of laughed. He's 1 year younger than I am, so I guess it's a little late to start to be a Unity minister. But anyhow, so I'd like to read this to you. I think this is excellent. I hope you all will enjoy it as I did. He calls it, and his name is Hank Palmer, incidentally, and he now lives in California. And it's called Adventures in an Ordinary Life, Connectedness. I am a maple tree with bright golden leaves, basking in warm autumn sunshine and remembering spring and summer. I am a Canadian goose, winging to a distant home, companions in a V formation and honking as we ride the sky. I am an old dog, frosty, muzzled, stiff and stiff-jointed, sleeping by the fire and dreaming of my puppyhood. I am a river, bubbling up from a spring, racing through rapids, and flowing mightily to the sea. I am the lion, and the gazelle that the lion eats, and the grass that the gazelle eats, and the earth where it grows. I am the policeman, the judge, and the jury, the lawyers, and the condemned, and the executioner. I'm an ordinary man, weeping with joy at the birth of a child and the birth of a grandchild. I am an Adam, born in the beginning, existing through time, still here now, and always will be.
Wow. Nice.
I hope you all like that. I was quite moved by that, quite moved. Guys, he's really something. I could tell you all of his exploits. He's done far more things than I could ever do. But so I'm so pleased that I met his acquaintance and became friends. And of course, as you all know, today is Father's Day. And so the blessing for today is about fathers. And I'll say the affirmation first and then have you all repeat it. I bless all fathers with thoughts of gratitude. Together,
I bless all fathers with thoughts of gratitude.
I am grateful for fathers, for grandfathers, for stepfathers, and all father figures who care for children and families. I pray they are called always to follow their guidance and to act to express divine love. I envision their hearts and minds opening to receive blessings of strength, patience, and tenderness. I see them supported in all they are called upon to do and comforted during times of struggle. I pray also for children, young and old, as they remember their fathers. May cherished memories bring smiles and warmth as we all remember our fathers. And may the love remain alive forever in hearts and minds. And for all those on a healing or forgiveness journey, I pray that divine love leads and comforts them on a path towards lasting peace. May the peace and love of God fill their hearts today and every day. And from the book of Numbers in chapter 6, may the Lord bless and keep you. So we have a small change today. You didn't mention it, but Reverend Bunch, who was going to speak today, apparently came down, tested positive for COVID last night, and contacted Reverend Jenny and said, I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to make it today. So Reverend Jenny is going to be our guest speaker, and her title is going to be Choices. And I found that in my older age, that particularly when I talk to my grandchildren and when I talk to the young people that I support over in Uganda, that I often use the phrase, nobody holds a gun to your head. Everything is about choices. And your life will be based on good choices or bad choices that you make. And of course, the key is, how do you know if it's a good choice or a bad choice? And Reverend Jenny's going to tell us that. So then, and then Paulette will grace us with more music after that. Reverend Jenny.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I was really sad that Reverend Richard Bunch wasn't going to be able to be here, because he looked like he was going to give this really wonderful talk, and I said, so maybe you can come in August and bless us with your talk then, because he was going to talk about Telliard de Chardin and the Omega Point and all kinds of things like that. So anyway, that's to come. So, you know, there was a particular family that had 3 small children, and they were just so determined, and you can get this, they wanted a puppy. And you know how kids are, right? They're all excited. They're going to get a puppy. The mom protested because she knew that somehow or other she would end up caring for the puppy. None of this is true for anybody in this room, I'm sure. So true to form, the children solemnly promised that they would take care of it. Okay, so finally the mother relents and gets the little puppy and brings it home. The children named him Danny, and they cared for him diligently at first. But sure enough, as time passed, Mom found herself becoming more and more responsible for taking care of the dog. Finally, she decided that the children were not living up to their promise, so they began to search for a new home for Danny. So when she found one and broke the news to the children, she was quite surprised that they had almost no reaction at all. I mean, one of them even said rather matter-of-factly, well, we'll miss him. I'm sure you will, Mom answered, but he's too much work for one person, and since I'm the one that has to be doing all the work, I say he goes. But, protested another child, if he wouldn't eat so much and he wouldn't be so messy, could we keep him? And the mom held her ground. It's time to take Danny to his new home. Suddenly, with one voice and with tears in their eyes, the children exclaimed, Danny, we thought you said Daddy. Oh, well. I thought that was kind of cute. So anyway, when I get this call from Reverend Bunch, I'm going, okay, what am I going to talk about today? So I started thinking about, well, I looked through a whole lot of stuff, and this came to me, so I'm feeling like this message may be for someone. So I'm going to ask the question, have you ever felt suspended between two choices? You know, is it this or is it that? And somehow you just wish that someone would give you the answer. Or did you listen to the voices inside your head and become more and more confused? Because we know how that goes, right? All the chatter. Or how many times have you asked for advice from friends or people in your life about making a decision or a choice, and did you spend endless hours at night listening to the voices in your head and still not knowing where to turn? Anybody sound familiar? An old Danish proverb says, he who builds according to everyone's advice will have a crooked house. Have you ever found that to be the case? I see people shaking their heads. Okay, so this is familiar. So I ask the question again, have you ever been suspended between two choices and wish that someone would tell you what to do? But you know what? When people tell you what to do, you don't always do it anyway, really. Isn't it kind of interesting how we go, well, I'm going to go talk to my sister and see what she has to say, and what she says, you just kind of, okay, in one ear and out the other. But how many times during prayer or meditation have you asked for guidance? And get this, because I've done this. Ask for unmistakable sign from God in order to show you how to proceed. Show me a sign, right? And I always say, make it really clear so I don't have any hesitation. I know it's the right thing to do, but does it always work out that way? So Jesus says in Matthew 26:39 in the Garden of Gethsemane, my Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Have we ever felt that confident in knowing that there is a spirit of God within us that guides and directs us to only good? Because we're constantly being spoken to. And what you can say, use the word God speaks all the time, or we can say the Christ within us is speaking to us constantly, directing and guiding us to our good. But it's usually not a loud voice. It doesn't come booming from the sky down upon us. It's a never-ending changing murmur that laps gently upon our consciousness like ripples on the shore of a peaceful lake. Does that sound right? Or it's that still small voice within us, that gentle tapping and nudge in the direction of our good. I'm going to guarantee all of you have felt this. It is in the quietness that we can hear. It is in the calm persistence that we can hear. It is that inner guidance that may announce itself through the intellect, where we might get an idea or some thought. But God actually speaks more to us through our feelings. Have you ever thought of that? You know? The feeling nature of us is where we really get connected with the God information. And God doesn't speak in words, logically and calculating. It doesn't come that way. It's not like, here is step one, and then here is step two, and here is step three. If we step out in faith, those steps will be revealed to us, you know, as we move down the path. But we're not going to get a sheet with all the parts and pieces lined up for us. So how does God speak to us? Through our feelings, as a sense of rightness and joy. You ever had that happen? Where all of a sudden you just get that little inspiration, that little tapping within your heart, and it says, move or do or give. It's something like that, and it really comes from within us. It's our intuition. It may come to us through dreams. It may come to us through the words of others, but typically not as like, well, let me just tell you what to do. But you may hear somebody talking about something, and all of a sudden you go, oh, have you ever had that happen where it just is like, oh, that's what I needed to hear, right? Through the love of others, people that support you in moving into this new direction in your life, or maybe awakening to something new for you to do. Maybe through an inspiring story. Maybe just sitting outside in our beautiful meditation garden, and you feel yourself, something just moves within you, and you can feel it filling you up. And then you might feel to go and do something, or check something out. It might be in the gaze of a loved one. It could be in the face of a child. And it may come suddenly and without warning. Has that ever happened to you? Just kind of like out of the blue, as we would say, right? Out of the blue, I got this idea that this is what I was supposed to do. This is what I needed. This was my next step. And the thing that we got to remember is it's always for absolute good for us. Even if it's not all written out step by step by step. You step into this, this path of, I'll call it faith. It feels like walking into like a little lake, and all of a sudden you just feel the beautiful water around you, and then you take that next step, and oh wow, and the next one, and the next one, because we're guided in all ways. But sometimes we get a little overzealous, and we're looking for signs, and we spend a lot of time interpreting what the signs mean. Have we ever done that? I wonder if this is the sign. I wonder if this is the right one, right? It says that God will for us absolute good if we are the offspring of this living, loving energy of life that wants to continue to expand through us. Why would we not think it would be for something good? Why would we think we would be taken down some crazy direction that would not be for our good? Remember when Jesus said in Matthew 7:9-11, what man, if his son asked for bread, would give him a stone? How much more will your Father give good to those who ask him? So why would we think that it wouldn't be something magnificent for us? It could be scary, you know? The idea of this good for us is actually a part of the fabric of our being. We should have no doubt about this for ourselves. And we must see this belief to make all of our decisions. That what I'm doing and this guidance that I'm getting is for good. For good, for good. Then we need to remember that the Christ presence is within us, guiding us, and also within others, guiding them to choose the right way to go. So a couple of things are coming up for me, and I know some of you have heard this story before, but it was funny, when I was out at Unity Village last week, I was with two of my friends, Ann and Deb, and Ann was being ordained a Unity minister. So we went over to the Peace Chapel. So the Peace Chapel, on the grounds, there's a chapel called the Fillmore Chapel, and that's where Charles Fillmore would do his lecture every Sunday afternoon after the people had gone to their regular churches for their service. They would come out to Unity Village and they would listen to Charles Fillmore talk about truth principles and how to make them practical in your life, how to use them every single solitary day. So that's the bigger part of the building. Then there's a little wing on this side and a little wing on this side, and this is where the Peace Chapel is. Peace Chapel is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and anybody can just go in and sit. It only has about 3 chairs in it, and it's just very, very sweet. So my story, and many of you, like I said, may remember it, when I got the call to ministry, I had to decide whether or not I wanted to do licensing in the field, which I was going to Unity Renaissance Church, and I could have stayed there and done all of my ministerial training and all right there, or I could go out to Unity Village for 2 years and study there for 2 years and be ordained after that. Well, I was really in a quandary because I had been at Unity Renaissance for years. I loved the people. We had this wonderful relationship, and they said, if you want to stay here and go through your ministerial training, that would be wonderful. We'd love to have you. So I was going out to Unity Village with the YOU, the Youth of Unity, and they were all having their big, giant yearly convention out there. And I said, I had like 1 month, either one way or the other. I either had to put my application into the school or I had to put my application into field licensing. And I was telling Ann and Deb, I came into the Peace Chapel, and talk about feelings, because every time I tell this story, I get emotional because it was a feeling. I said, okay, God, you have got to tell me. I've got to figure out where I'm going to send my application. Is it here or is it here? And then I said, okay, show me a rainbow. That's usually a little symbol that I use. I said, show me a rainbow, and then I'll know. Okay, then my little mind goes, well, what kind of rainbow? Is it going to be in the sky? Is it going to be on a book cover? Are you going to see it? La, 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 la. And I said, stop. you know how you drive yourself crazy, right? And, I got up and I went, there was a Bible standing on a stand, and I went up to the Bible and I just kind of opened it up and I put my finger down. And it said, a rainbow surrounded the throne. And the chances of me finding the word rainbow in the Bible, the most it's ever in a Bible, is 7 times. What was the chance that I would hit the word rainbow and know that I was supposed to go out to the school? It was like, woo, which is what I did. But you just never know where you might be led. And I had no idea how I was going to make it happen. None whatsoever. But I was led step by step by step, what to do. Things just started to unfold, and you all have had that happen to you. You can't even stop the train moving. It just, once you make that commitment, once you say in absolute faith, yes, this is what I'm called to do, and I'll move it ahead, everything is going to be revealed. And the idea that God wants good for us is just a part of knowing that even if it scares you to death, it's going to produce something wonderful. And the faith to know that, and therefore take that leap of faith. Take that nudge, take that intuition, take that feeling of, I've always wanted to do that. Oh my gosh, I would love to serve people that way. I would love to take care of animals. I love to, help in other countries. And you take that, and if it's on your heart to do, know that you're going to be led in every way. Have no doubt. And then the beauty part is knowing it for others. I don't have to tell you what to do. I know you have your internal guidance system for yourself. That was another thing when I became a minister. I said, well, I'm gonna counsel people. How in the heck do I know what's right for them? And the idea is you don't. They know what's right for them. All you do is hold the container and let them know, no, turn within. Turn within and find out what the answer is for you. And then we'll talk about that, right? Do you remember that bumper sticker years ago that said, God is my co-pilot? I often said, why don't we just say God is the pilot and let him have the whole control of everything? Let him fly the daggone plane, But it's just something interesting that we have this power within us to know what's ours to do and know where to go. So what question might you be wrestling with today for yourself? Is there a choice that you need to make? Is there something that you wish guidance around? Is there something that's kind of tapping at your heart? And you're not listening because you're just like, oh, I don't think so. Or that can't be possible. That's not me. Is there something like that for you, or this choice? I gave out some pieces of paper. If you have something that maybe you want to write down, and if I didn't give you a piece of paper, I can get you a piece of paper. Anybody need a piece of paper? Anybody? And write down just anything on your heart that you might be making a choice about right now, or something that you want guidance around. And just write it down, and we're going to do a little process. Do you need a piece of paper? There you go. Yeah, I'll get you a pencil. Okay, and then, okay, there's one for you. You're welcome. So just kind of sit just still for a minute. We don't have to be thinking about talking about things or. Yes. Okay, Miriam. Okay, thank you. Good. All right. Did you guys get a piece? Did you get a piece? Okay. So then we will go through a little process on what to do here. So take a moment and just turn within. Maybe it's right there at the top of your mind and you can just jot it down. Something that you have a choice around or you have a concern around that you would love to have some guidance. And then when you're ready, you can just kind of write it down. If nothing comes to you, maybe later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning you go, I could use some guidance around this. Okay, so if you've got it written down, we're going to know that whatever guidance we get, whatever we come to understand, it's there to steer us right in the right direction, that it comes from within the Christ essence within us, and it's always working on our behalf for good. Just a reminder that it'll come through your feeling nature rather than your intellect, where you feel like you got to figure it all out. And even if you don't get anything clear now, just know it can come when you least expect it. A little nudge of some sort, a little word maybe, a feeling will kind of take over and you go, oh, yeah, that's it. So you can ask yourself a question or two. To what extent have I released the outcome that I want? You know, you have something with a choice. Oh, well, this is better for me because, and then you have your litany of things. And the ego will try to figure out all the angles. Are you at peace? Are you feeling peaceful about what you might hear or be guided to do? Are you open to any outcome, not just the one you think you want for you, that you're open to anything? And do you trust that you will be guided to do what is best for you? What's best for you? So ponder that for a minute, and if you have something come to you, you can write it down. If not, like I said, it could come in a flash in a day or two. But remember, it's got to have that feeling nature to it, you know, where you really feel, yeah, I think this is it. This is it. I need to take that step. I need to make that conversation happen. I need to, you know, move in that direction. Yeah. You can write that down. And I'll add one more piece to this, because I know this is what Bob was referring to. How do I know that this is what Spirit wants me to do? How do I know that it's not myself making something up? This is how you'll know. The results must be a win-win for everyone involved. Chances are it's God's will. If things are going effortlessly, without force or manipulation, chances are it's God's will. And as long as there's a green light or an open door process to move through it. Chances are it's God's will. Yeah. Something to think about this week. We must come to realize that we cannot avoid doing what Spirit guides us to do. We think we can, but I'm telling you, if something is meant for you to do, that you will hear it your whole life. You know, it'll keep tapping and tapping and knocking on the door of your heart. Always be listening and expecting to be led by the Spirit of God within you. If we truly believe that God's will for us is good, we will have an easier time accepting the sweet nudge or the gentle, constant tapping. So hopefully that's helpful. And whenever you're ready to come, you know, just kind of sit. I know We've got a beautiful song with Paulette. Just kind of sit and relax in just the knowing that all is well for you, all is good for you. And so it is. Thank you, Paulette. Okay, how's everybody doing? Take a breath. It's free. Now we have an opportunity to bless Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center with your tithe and love offering, and just know how blessed we are to know that you continue to support this ministry with your tithes and offerings, and we bless you every time you step into this beautiful building. Yeah. Right, so we got our prayer plenty. Let's say this together. In the infinity of this moment, all is perfect, whole, and complete. We acknowledge the one presence and one power, expressing through us and Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center every moment of every day. We open our hearts to the wisdom and intelligence that exist in the universe and in our minds, through which all answers, resources, opportunities, solutions, creativity, and all healing comes. All doubt is released as we trust that our needs are being met in this moment. Divine order is unfolding for our highest good now. And so it is. Amen. I'm going to sing our little ditty, our little blessing ditty. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed, aren't we? Yeah, we are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. Of course, we have our little basket in the center, and we certainly accept the wonderful tithes and offerings through our PayPal that's on our website. And so however you'd like to bless us, we are open and receptive to your gifts. And we know that when we give, and we give with a joyful heart, what happens? It comes back to us, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And for this truth that sets us free, we always can walk out into the world and feel prosperity all around us. And so it is. Amen. All right, Bob's got a couple of little announcements to make.
Well, thank you for that message this morning. A lot to think about. That was a good kind of, what would you call it, a drill, a practice, whatever.
A practice.
So thank you. So first of all, remind you that this Tuesday we're having our summer solstice drumming ceremony. Do you want to talk about it, Susan, at all?
What time is it going to be?
It says 6:30 to 7:30. And Kanda Lambert will be joining us as our musical guest.
Yes.
And it's fun. It really is fun.
Okay, so if you all make it, please do. I'd like to mention our match game is growing close to the end, and we're now up to 30. We were going to match someone has donated $5,000 and said they would match up to $5,000. We're now at $3,900.
Ooh,
So
all right.
we're very, very close to making that match. And of course, that's going to end in 2 weeks. So just remind everybody and those at home that we're drawing near the end, but we're doing very well. So thanks to everybody who's donated. Volunteer opportunities are available to either be a platform assistant or a chaplain or a greeter. If you all would like to get involved in some of the activities, just contact one of the ministers. Throughout the summer, we're going to have a variety of guest speakers. So as you come in, today was supposed to be our first one, but as you come in, you just be aware that we're going to have some guest speakers from all around. So it should be a very interesting summer. Donations for fish. Remember, we're trying to collect the small travel size toiletries and also dishwashing and laundry detergent. So if you bring those in, and we can put those in the back, and they'll take those to fish later in the summer. Prayer boxes are available if you have any particular prayer that you would like to be done during the week. And Jude Eastman, who's in the back, is our chaplain for today. If you have any prayer, a personal prayer that you would like to have. I think that's it. Has anyone got any announcements they'd like to make? Oh, Natalie. Excuse me. This is Nanette. I'd have gotten it.
So I'd just like to make an announcement that on June 9th, we'll be having our second sensitive support group. So the second Saturday of each month, sensitive support, so SSSS, you can remember, 1 to 3.
Is it July? Is that July 9?
Sorry, July.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
July 9th.
Okay.
July 9th. So the weekend after 4th of July.
Yeah.
On Saturday in the sanctuary. And sort of the format, just so everyone knows, is we say a little prayer and blessing, and a lot of times we'll meditate or do some kind of exercise, and then we open the floor for discussion. In a way that people that have regular or unique sensitivities can have a safe environment to discuss them and grow in their sensitivity. And this next one, we are going to focus on courage as one of the themes.
Okay.
There always seems to be a kind of a theme just like in that way. It's sort of guided things. So thank you so much. And the last one is wonderful. I really like to thank Miriam and Steve who's on the phone, especially, but I think people feel the pain, and it was really wonderful. The energy is incredible. So I'd like to invite anyone who feels called to come.
Check it out.
Okay? Any others? All right. Let's have our peace song.
All right. Let's stand at what, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that Reverend Jan had a number of CDs.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have brought them in, and if you would like to go through and select some, just a piece of love offering would be appreciated for the church. But you're welcome to take the CDs where they can do the most good.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get in the center here and we'll do our peace song. Thank you, thank you. All right, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Woo!
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To make each moment and live each moment peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am present. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And so it is. So take some, hopefully you got something from the service today that you can use if you have a decision to make. Kind of use that little practice and see if that might be helpful. And just know how we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the Christ in each one of you. And so it is. Amen. Go out there and make